Hi, my name is Ali. I work here in Meitheal Mara, and I've been involved into the EU project. I went to the Basque Country, and basically the EU project is we actually got 4 boyards, we got in touch, we exchanged ideas, and we exchanged strategies and things we could do in the future to actually gather money, keep the heritage alive, keep the tradition alive, and things that I have taken from it. For example, the enthusiasm, the determination you need, knowing that actually Meitheal Mara, we're not the only ones that, we're fighting to keep tradition alive. We're fighting to, bring the corks and make people to be enthusiastic about it and be passionate about it and row and build them. So another thing that I actually took from the project, and it was quite interesting after seeing the Basques and the Belgians and a little bit like how the French operate, is perhaps it did clarify what's Meitheal Mara doing, what do we want and where are we going, and things that we should be doing and things perhaps we shouldn't be doing, or actually this is not the way we see ourselves, in the future. Like, for example, maybe we're not going to go as touristic, or we're not going to operate into a bigger scale, or we are going to operate into a bigger scale, or we want to have more impact along our most immediate community. So for me, actually, it was good to know what other people are doing, so to position ourselves, to position myself. Another thing that was actually nice and I took from, as we had actually an exchange of from a working experience exchange. So Etienne from Tramasset came here and stayed with us for a month, and I actually like this, in fact, to happen with all the other boyard communities and have a back and forth of, it's another way of exchanging ideas. It's another way of exchanging actually knowledge, but actually in a real setup and kind of the practical context of it. And this is what I expect from the future, and I expect that actually we're gonna keep in touch, and we actually, I don't know, we could, maybe the 4 of us together, we could build enough strength to draw out more money from the EU and have a bigger boyard and more people to participate with us, and I think that's it. I don't know.
My name is Marie, and my role in Meitheal Mara is a support worker to the different projects that we run here. My main activity in the water with Meitheal Mara is with our Bantry longboat, Meitheal Mara. We have a youth and adult crew, and I coordinate the training and row and cox the boat as well. I was part of the Meitheal Mara group who visited Pasaia to the EU boat meeting there. For me, the main thing really was just the privilege of sitting and chatting and rowing with other people from different parts of Europe who have passion and love for boats and sailing and traditional tools, and to see the San Juan being built was amazing and jaw-dropping, and to see the traditional tools being used by the people there. I would really hope that we can all meet again sometime. I would love to see the Pasaia Bantry longboat in Ireland, because I just saw that it's been launched, and maybe through Atlantic Challenge and Bantry longboats we could all keep in touch again. So, slán go fóill agus beannacht.
My name is Martin O'Donoghue. I'm a rower with Boat Cork, and I volunteer with Meitheal Mara and their fundraising committee. I've been involved in early stage planning in the EU boat project here in Cork for the first meeting of the project, and I've also done a mobility to Bordeaux to see for the final mobility. The project has been really engaging in terms of the connections we've made with similar organisations, the people, and also inspirational in terms of ideas that I've seen elsewhere could possibly work for Meitheal Mara, especially in the new development phase that we have ahead with regards to the new premises. It's been an enjoyable experience and definitely well worth attending.
I'm Padraig O'Dingane. People say I'm the founder of Meitheal Mara. There was lots of us. It's a cooperative effort. I'm interested in traditional boats all my life, particularly Irish traditional boats. Some of the EU project was just seeing what has happened in the time in other countries that Meitheal Mara has been in existence. I'd have met people in the past 20 years ago. They were on the same path, so it's really good to connect in again with those efforts. The similarities and the varieties of what people are doing and the scale of what some people are doing was really interesting. The added value for me was the knowledge that what we are doing in Meitheal Mara is shared by other groups, and it means you don't feel out on a limb. You feel like we're doing stuff that makes sense. The most interesting part for me was just meeting the people and getting a flavour of what is happening, actually talking face to face with people, hearing what they're at, what their ambitions are. I'd love to just visit the various people and just spend time on the projects.
My name is Pat Ruan. My main role with Meitheal Mara is as a volunteer with Fianbara, the Pantry Longboat. For me, the most interesting aspect of the project was people from groups within and around Meitheal Mara meeting their equivalents in the other countries, in France and in Spain and Belgium. And I think that the main outcome of it that I really felt was the increase in the sense of possibility, in the kind of growth and confidence of the organisation, and the better appreciation of what these organisations like Arwen can do by the state agencies that we engaged with during these projects. I think that the mobility, the people moving between one place and another, really contributed to that. I think that they saw how their role is understood in other countries and how it could be better understood here, and I think that gave great confidence. And I think as well that an organisation like Meitheal Mara does really great work, and to have it better appreciated by the state agencies here, but also to go to other countries and see what the people there, how they value what Meitheal Mara does, is great. I think it just leads to an overall increase in kind of self-confidence and in a sense of possibility of what you can do in the future. I don't really think it matters about what we do next, because the virtue of the process is actually that sense of possibility that's more widely shared, and that nothing but good can come from that.
My name is Seamus O'Brien. I work here in Meitheal Mara. I'm a cork boat builder. I also teach woodwork and feedback to all different ages of adults and youths. If I go to France, like see the bigger boatyard, and a lot more skills and a lot more tradesmen, and a lot of voluntary work, but it really kind of gave me a lot of thought and inspiration for things ahead of our, especially when we're in talks of getting new premises. So really, yeah, the bigger scale of Meitheal Mara, I think I've seen over in Tramasset in France. To learn, I learned an awful lot, in terms of, working with the people for a few days while I was over there, talking to them, and talking to all different people of all different types of, besides boat building or woodworking, but also connection with Meitheal Mara. Yeah, I can see all this coming back here with me and using it in the future. The most interesting prospects for me was, was getting involved, going over there and having one of the lads, Etienne, coming over here to work for a month, building corks and stuff. But my biggest thing was, even though we all talked about it, is that we keep up the where we go back and forth and work in each other's yards and stuff like that, and keep on passing on the information that we learn from each other in the future.
My name is Stefan Wolf. I've been involved with Meitheal Mara and Leonardo da Vinci for the past 15 years. First, in relation to rowing boats, rowing boats, those boats have been built and are being built by Meitheal Mara. There's an offshoot of Meitheal Mara called Leonardo da Vinci, that's the rowing club, and so I've been very heavily involved in that. And coming from that, I got to know Meitheal Mara's structure reasonably well for that time span. For me, culminating in the year 2004-2005, to take a year out of my job to help out with the organisation of the first Ocean to City. This was part of the Capital of Culture. So that was a very interesting learning curve for myself, and also to see how many people on a community level became involved in this project, either volunteering, making connections with foreign crews from European countries. When I did hear about the European boat project, I was interested in becoming involved in that. Now, I've been on the fringes of that. In that I took part in the kick-off meeting initially here in Cork, and then I also was part of the conference subsequently that took place a couple of months later, also in Cork. In that regard, I got to meet other organizations and heard what they had to say in terms of how they got together, what their aspirations or difficulties may have been, and I suppose that there was everybody who took part in those two meetings, and probably also in the subsequent meetings, probably got a good awareness of maybe what can be done, where stumbling blocks are, and how those can be ironed out. So the part of that meeting was a couple of people from Banagher, County Offaly, who had started building the replica of the Bantry longboat. This is a boat type pretty much indigenous originally in France, but going through history, one of those boats ended up in the west of Ireland, in a place called Bantry, and since then, from the 1970s, 80s on, a lot of boats were replicated all over the world almost, but predominantly in France. So I also became involved in that project since Meitheal Mara acquired one of those boats, partially built, and they finalized the structure here in Cork. Again, this was a very community-based project, which challenged probably the organizational structure as well, people taking part in it in terms of coming to terms with learning how to row and sail a boat like that, and that in turn led us to become more closely involved with people from Bantry themselves who've been doing that for a long time. So that development in comparison with the European boat project, I think really shows how those cross-community, maybe cross-national meetings can have a synergy effect of driving on those projects. The crew I mentioned from Banagher, they had no connection to this boat type, yet they were inspired by it, they built it, and they are on a steep learning curve now and take part in meetings here in Ireland, and they're keen to do so probably on a competitive level with the events like the Atlantic Challenge. So I think that having been part of the initial meetings and listened to people from Croatia, I believe, and from Belgium, to see how they try to make headway in their organizational structure and maybe develop boat activity in their respective communities, how that really can be driven on, and I think it was and it is worthwhile continuing that process and to have cross-country connections.
My name is Claire Hayden. I'm the Youth Programme Manager for Meitheal Mara, and I've also been the coordinator of Meitheal Mara's involvement in the EU Boat Project, which means that I've had the privilege of travelling to all three of our partner organisations. People who had a passion for boats, for boat building, for rowing and for sailing. And for me that was what the EU Boat Project was about, bringing like-minded people together. When we held the project meetings here in Cork, people commented on it, people who were on the fringes of Meitheal Mara who had participated in the seminar that we held and attended some of the meetings that we held. They commented on the spirit of the meetings and how the people who had never met each other before and were separated by language were very, very similar, very like-minded, and shared such common interests. So that was really lovely. The EU Boat Project, I think what I learned from it was that there are similar boating organisations out there in Europe. Meitheal Mara is unique, but I think not only have we felt unique in the past, we've tended to feel alone. The EU Boat Project brought similar organisations to us. We're not all doing exactly the same thing. Some people are engaged in different activities, but we do share commonalities and we do share characteristics. And it was also interesting to see the activities that people are engaged in that Meitheal Mara isn't engaged in, and to look at those and to see kind of the possibilities there for ourselves, and whether we want to engage in those activities or not. But it was very interesting to see those activities, and I think it really developed a conversation as well amongst Meitheal Mara's staff and volunteers in whether we want to engage in those activities. So it raised really interesting questions, I think, for Meitheal Mara. And it also gave us the opportunity to discuss these questions and issues for ourselves. I think within Meitheal Mara, within our staff and our volunteers, everybody is always very busy, engaged in their own jobs, in their own activities, and so we don't have the opportunity to come together very often to discuss things amongst ourselves and discuss Meitheal Mara and where it's going. So the EU Boat Project was a great opportunity for that. In terms of the future, I think that the EU Boat Project has brought about a lot of new relationships and strong relationships between four very interesting and quite different boat organisations. So I would like to see those relationships develop further through exchanges between the organisations, and that has already happened to some extent.